Right. Yeah, is my screen is visible, right? Yeah, you are able to see my screen. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
okay then. Right. Yeah. So today we will be discussing about the concepts called as what are the different type of filters that we use in Power Query. Okay. So what is the use of using the filters? Suppose in the real time, you'll be working on some big data like suppose you have enrolled like you got a project to work with. So the client will provide access to the data source. So the data source might be assume the data is stored in the SQL server. Okay. So it is not mandatory. Suppose you are working on a project which is related to every day, every time the client will be interested to see at the latest data. Okay. So what is business is running from last year, like current year, last year, and last 5 years. So is not that much interested what is was business before 5 or 10 years. So mostly the clients will be very interested to see about the current status of business by comparing to last 3 or 4 years, right? But while storing the data, every organization may be storing the data like if the organization since the establishment of the organization, they'll be storing the data in their databases. Okay. But when you work on a project, when you got a project, like the client will be mostly will be interested to see the trends of last 2 or 3 years. So while such type of requirement comes into the real time, while connecting to the data sources by SQL Server, if your data is stored in the SQL Server, so you can connect by using the server name, you will connect this data into and load it into your Power Query. So it is not mandatory every time to load if the client stored last if business is established 20 years back. So it is not mandatory to load all the 20 years data into your Power Query. What happens at this time? So your requirement is client is interested to learn, interested to see only last 2 years data, how his business is performing. But you are loading last 20 years of data which is there in the SQL server into your Power Query. In that situation, what happens? All the tables that it will be loaded into your Power Query and your performance of your Power BI desktop may be decreased. It is very simple, right? In case of like in a system like if it is the GB, your lot of data is stored, your system performance will be decreased, right? So in this tool, in that situation, what happens if a client is interested for looking at the data of last 2 years, in the Power Query itself, you will filter the data and you will select only that 2 years of data. Then you will try to build the reports from there. So if you do like that, you will save a lot of space in your Power Query because there is some space limit in the Power BI desktop also. When you connect to the import mode, it can usually supports only 1 GB of the data. But you are storing like if a data is size is very high, then the Power Query transformation or when you load the table and when you run the report, when you refresh the report, in that case it will take lot of time after building the reports like after creating the visuals when you refresh your Power BI report, and it will take lot of time because unnecessary loading the data which is there in the SQL server, it is not required. Whatever the data which is used for the analysis, that data should be only loaded into your Power Query. Then you can ask me how you can load the particular data. We have the functions called as, we have the concepts called as filters. By using the filters, we can load only required data that is used for analysis, and you will perform the task on that particular data, and you will create some visuals and you share it to the client. So that is the importance of the filters. It will decrease the burden on your Power BI desktop, or it will decrease when you load, when you apply the filters and load the required data, it will decrease the burden on the Power Query level and your report performance will be increased. So in the today's topic, we'll be discussing about the filters in the Power Query. How we can apply the filters in the Power Query. And second question, the common interviewer questions they will be asked. We can apply the filters at this Power Query level, okay? Or second Power Query level. That means we can load whatever. Suppose we want to load only last 1 year data. In the Power Query, you apply the filters and load only last 1 year data. That is one thing. And there is one other thing in the Power View also. You can apply the filters. Suppose you load last 20 years data into the Power BI desktop, but in the Power View also we have a filter concept where you can apply the filters at the Power View level also. There is a two way you can apply the filters at Power Query level. You can apply the filters at Power View level. So my simple question is to you: what is the best practice as a Power BI developer? Whether applying the filter at the Power Query level is better, or applying the filters at the Power View is better? So just a simple common sense question. Can anyone answer this question? So there are two ways that you can apply the filters. I'm saying you can filter the data at the Power Query level. Suppose last 2 years data or 1 year data, I can apply the filters. I can load it. Otherwise, I can load all the 20 years data. First load into Power Query, then I will build a relationship in the Power View. I will try to apply the filters. So there is a two ways. So generally, what is the best practice? This type of the question will be asked in the interview. So it's better you apply the lever at the Power Query level itself. So when you apply the filter up level, so out of there are 100 tables are there. So your requirement is only two tables. So you load that two tables here. From those two tables only you create the relationship, and from those two tables only you will build the visuals. So once you refresh the report performance will be very good. But suppose your tables contains like hundreds of tables in the SQL Server, you are loading into the Power Query. So there is a lot of a burden will be experienced in the Power BI desktop. And from that you are creating the relationship and you are loading the data in the Power View and you are applying the filters over here. So applying the filters at the Power View level is not that much good because already in the Power Pivot also there is a space limit. There is a space limit that it will so it will not handle the huge amount of the data. So better you have to apply the filters at the Power Query level, and if needed then only you will come to the Power View level. So this is the question that will be asked: what is the best practice, whether to apply the filters at Power Query level or Power View level? So you can answer applying the filters at the starting Power Query level is better because it will decrease the burden in the Power BI desktop, and thereby your report performance will be increased. So this is the advantage why you need to apply the filters. What is the importance of the applying the filter? So there is some best practice while loading the data also. Forget about the filters. Suppose your data, see in the SQL Server, the client will be loading lot of tables will be present. But in the analysis, there are only 4 or 5 tables are there. So while connecting to the SQL Server, so load the data which is useful for the analysis only. Unnecessary you loading the data into all the required tables which are there in the SQL Server. If you load into the Power Query, that is also not a best practice. So yesterday we have connected to the SQL Server. There are hundreds of tables are there, but in the project only customer, geography, location, only these 3 tables are required to build your report. So load the 3 tables into the Power Query. Load only that tables into the Power Query, because thereby the burden on the Power BI desktop will be decreased and your report performance will be increased. So they will ask in the question, what are the best practices that you perform while loading the data into the Power BI desktop? Then you can answer, yes, I will load the data which is only required for analysis, thereby decrease the burden on Power BI desktop. You will ask where you can apply the filters. You say filters can be applied at Power Query and Power View level, but when you apply at the Power Query level, the report performance will be increased. So this type of the general basic idea you need to get into the mind before entering into any topic. Okay, with this basic idea, we'll try to go through the today's topics, how you can apply the filters in the Power Query. Okay, that is our point of discussion over here. Okay, let us see. There are two types of the filters will be there. So once we open the Power BI desktop, this is the Power BI desktop, right? Okay. I've already yesterday we have created some visual. Now this is the desktop view, right? Power BI desktop. Now I want to make any changes. I want to go to the Power Query. Power Query useful for the transformation, right? How you can go to the Power Query? Just for transfer, you need to click on the transform data. Once you click on the transform data, you will go to the Power Query. Okay. This you can see Power Query editor. So this is the area where you can transform your data, where you can apply your filters or you can apply any type of the transformation you will done in the Power Query editor. Okay. Now let us see what are the different type of the filters. See, in order to understand this, I will go to this orders table. Okay. In the orders table, let me go to the regions table. Okay. This is the regions table here. When you go to the regions table, you can see the filters. Okay. There are two types of the filters will be there. The first filters we call it as basic filters, and the second one we call it as advanced filters. What is meant by basic filter? See, in the region, we have the four types of data. If I want to filter the central data, with the basic filter, I can select central and click on OK. See, the central data is filtered. Again, I am applying the filter. See here in this icon filter. I want to filter out of this central, east, south, and west. If I want to filter east also, I am selecting central and east. My data in central and east is selected. Central and east. This is called as basic filtering. Okay. It is showing one error message central, east, south, west, and it is showing the error message list may be incomplete. What is the reason behind it? So one region is missing. You can know central, east, south, west, and north. So that's why it will show as the list may be incomplete. So that is the reason, because as the regions will be central, east, south, west, there is also north is also region is there. So that is missing. So it will show the list may be complete. Now let us clear the filters. So basic filter means just you click on the filter. If you want to filter out only west region, just you click on the west, your the region in the west is filter. So this you know, like already you might be having seen in case of the Excel. Okay, this data. Now what happens when we clear the filters? Now let us discuss. There is another type of the filters which is there, that what we call it as advanced filter. Okay. When we broadly link see the filters in the Power BI, so there are three types of the filters will be there. So when you say general types of filters, first filter is basic filter, and second one filter we call it as advanced filtering. That we'll be discussing. Next, generally how many different types of filters based upon the functions we have. First type of filter we call as text filters. Second filters we'll be discussing in the class is called as number filters. And third topics we call it as date filters. Okay. So filters will be basic and advanced. Okay. And another, and what are the different ways you can filter the data? Like we have, when we work on the text data, we apply text filters. When you want to filter the or work on the numbers data, we use number filters, and we have the date filters. So these are the topics of discussion, how you can filters the data. So basic filter we have seen, like let us see what is the advanced filter. So in the advanced filter, like when you click on this filter concept, here we have the text filters. Okay. Why this text filter is open? Here by default, the region, the data, the south, these are the text, right? South. That's why by default, the text filter will be open. Now I want to filter the data. Suppose test filter, it will give you like equal. Suppose I want to filter any data, test equals to, yeah, here the basic filter will be there and advanced filter will be there. Now you can derive the difference between the basic and advanced filter is when you work on the only two or three attributes, the basic filters will be useful. So if I want to filter equals to, suppose there are two equals, like I want to filter, when I go to the basic filter, I can filter the data equal to central, and I can apply the center, like if I want to filter the data of east. Okay. But why the reason? Suppose I want to filter both central and east, region is called central and east, but my data I am getting the error message. What is the reason behind it? A single region here, when apply the basic filter in the region, a single region cannot have two names, central and east. Each region also one name, right? So it is not recommended to use and. Just you select the or. Okay. In the basic filters also, when we work on the lower ends of the data, when you want to filter the data of only few filters, then we can go for the basic filter. Okay. When we want to apply the filters like more or three attributes, then we go for the advanced filtering. So these are the two types of the ways where we can filter the data. Now, I want to suppose I want to filter the data by using the basic filters in the text filter. Suppose I'm applying for the test filter. Here test filter equals to. Okay. Now, first let us go step by step, and let us go for how to filter single region, how to filter the two regions, how to filter the three regions. My first requirement is, instead of applying to the region, let us go to the state level. So because we have the many functions in the state functions, let us go to the state. So we have the many columns, right? So in the real time, if you have some lakhs of rows, so I want to go to the particular, here we have only 10 to 12, we can up directly go to the state. So in the real time, if you have many columns, I want to go to the particular column. So you can go to the choose columns. Here choose columns. In the choose column also, you can click on go to column. Okay. Here I wanted all the columns will be appear here. Now I want to go to the state column, right? These are the state columns. So I will click on the state, click on OK. See, we are into the state column. Now, the basic and advanced filtering, let us see here, because we have more than 20 to 26 types of the states are there. So it will be easy for you to filter the data. Now, we are looking at the text filters here. We are clicking on equals to. First in the basic filter, let us start with the basic filter. Here test equals to, I am selecting a region called as suppose Texas. These are the case sensitive. So we need to give the name, like we have the Texas state over a TXS. Then I click on OK. What happens? The text, the state filters the data which is related to the Texas is reflected over here. And you can see over here, of all the data, you can see only Texas is filter. Okay. That is one point. Now my requirement is in sub, this is the text filter. Now same I want to use it in date filter. Okay, I want to apply the date filter. What is my requirement? So in order to see the date filter, we need to go to the date column. Suppose I am in the ship date. I have the data from 2015 to the 2017 here in the table. But my requirement is I want to filter out the data only 2017 data. I need to work on only 2017 data. That is my requirement. Okay. How I can filter the data? So in the text function also we have many, but first I will give what is text filter, date filter, number filter. Just we see with the introduction, and let us see in the text function how many different types of the way that how can filter the data. Now test we have seen in the date filter, I want to filter out only 2017 data. When you look at the options here, See here date filters. Previously it was a test. It has shown the text filters. Now it is the date. Okay. Date filters. As we are in the date column, the date filters will be open. What is my requirement? I want to filter only 2017 data. So in that condition, in the date filter, you need to select between. Okay. Between. Once you select the between, it will ask what is after or equal to. That means what is the first date of 2017. From that date to is before or equal to. So what is the last date? So before that, in between that dates, I want to filter the data. My requirement is my first date of 2000. I want to filter 2017 data. 2017 data starts from where? January 1st, 2017. So is after or equal to. So first date equal to first date is I want to enter January 1st, 2017. So just you click here. Once you there are two types of back arrows will be there. Once you click on the first one, it will go 1 month back, June, May. But when you click on double click, it will go 1 year back, 23, 22, 21, 26. When you click on double wires, the years will be changing. Right now, I want 2017. Right, you are in April 2017. Just to click on the single arrow, like January 1st, we want to filter. Right, this is January 1st, 2017, and is before equal to. That means what is the last date of that particular month. So last date of that particular month is again through September 2024. We need to go to 2017. Right, just click on this double arrow, 2017. So the last month of 2017 is December 31st, right? Just you click here September, October, November, December. Click on 31st. So this is the data of 2017, January 1st, 2017 to 31st 12 2017. So once you click on OK, so here in the ship date, only 2017 data will be reflected. Yeah, you can see only 2017 year. So if you want to filter out only specific year, like you can use the between function in the date filter. We will give the start date of that year. We will give the end date of year. Then the filters of that ship that data which is there in that first that year will be reflected here. Here we have filtered 2017 data. So that is one of the way to use the date filters. In the date filter also we have 17 or 15 to 16 types how you can filter the data. That I will discuss in the next. Just I will try to give first the introduction on text filter, date filter, and number filter. Then we deep dive into the each topic. Okay. Next, next our requirement is the date filters we have completed. Now you can extract the data. Like suppose if I want to in the text filter also, if I want to filter the data in the base, what is meant by basic? We have seen the filters will be of two types: basic filters and advanced filter. If you work on less, if you filter less distinct values, 2 or 3 values, you go for uh, basic filter. But when you work on more distinct value, that you want to filter more values like more attributes, then you go for advanced filter. Okay. Now you can see when in the text filter also, suppose I want to take let us go to this employee table. We have these three different types of tables we have extracted, right? So I will try to take few tables also, load few tables into the Power Query. We have loaded order dim employee table. These three we have collected from SQL Server. This table we have done it manually. This fact internal dim customers also we have taken from SQL Server. I have said from the Query level also we can filter the data. So how we can we can connect to the different sources. Okay, where you can suppose I want to take the data from the Excel sheet from here. How I can connect to the data source? I have said here we have the new source, right? When you click on this new source, I want to connect to one Excel file which is there in my desktop from the Power Query. How I can connect? Go to the new source, click on this Excel workbook, right? So it will connect to it will take you through the Excel source, yeah. Now my Excel source, it is in the desktop. Suppose I click on this desktop. In the desktop, I have these tables are there. In this tables, I want to connect to this employee department, this Excel file. Select that file, click on OK. Yeah, department, employee, these two files are there. You select employee, department, and load it. Yeah, see, this is the department file. This is the employee table. So these two tables are loaded into your Power BI desktop. So let us see the text function which is related to here. When I click on, suppose we are here in the text file, this function, like suppose we are in the job column. Okay. Suppose in the job, I want to filter out of all this, I want to filter out a person which is there, like in the text functions, if I want to filter in the jobs only salesman. So we can click on the filters in the text filter. Okay. We go to the equals. Here we can select the values, like different positions, jobs will be reflected over here. You click on the salesman, just click on OK. So the data related to the salesman has reflected. Okay. This is one example of the text function. Now you can see in the number function. So if how want to you want to clear the filter, just you click on the filter, apply. This is a red mark. When you click on clear filter, this filter is clear. So this is a one way where once my charging is less, I need to give me 1 minute. Yeah. And the second one, I want to go to the number filters. In the number filter, suppose I am coming here. These are the employees having different type of the salaries. So I want to filter out the persons who are having the salary of 1600 or 1800. So just you click on this filter. This is a number filter equals to, right? The salary equals to, we will be having the values over here. I want to filter out the person who is having the salary 800, that means Smith. Just you click on OK. So the Smith is a person who is having the salary of 800. So this is one type of, because in the column the numbers are stored, so by default the number filters will be appearing here. In the clerk, it is a text function. It is a text, that's why automatically the text filters are pop up here. Previously we have seen, like in the same also here, you can filter, clear the filter the data. So we have here hired date. I want to see the person who is hired on this 17/12/1980. So just you apply the filters over here. You apply the filters equals to, then you can select any one of the dates, 17/12/1980. Click on OK. See, the clerk is a person who hired on this particular date. So as we have stored the date filter over here, the date filters have popped up. Okay. This is the three ways where we can see filter the data by using text function. You can filter the data by using number functions. You can filter the data by using this date functions. Okay, this is the general introduction of how we can filter the data. Now your requirement is in the real time requirement. What happens if you want to filter? Suppose we have the data over here in the salary. My requirement is I want to filter the data whose salary is not equal to 3000. Whose salary is not equal to 3000. I want to filter, like means I want to exclude this cot, and I want to filter the salaries who are not having the 3000. So how I can filter the data? See, in the number filters, if you want to filter the specific one, if you want to filter the data whose salary is equal to 3000, you use equals to function. And if we want to filter the data, I don't want the person who's having the salary 3000. I want the data of all the person who are having the salary not equal to 2000 3000. So in that function, we can apply the number of filters. You go for does not equals to, then you click on this 3000, you can click on OK. So all the employees whose salary which is not equal to 3000, that is filtered over here. So here the text function, what text function we have used here? We use the text function called as does not equal to. That means it will exclude that number which you give. Okay. Now I am removing this filter, clear filter. Now the third function which is there here in the number filter, we have greater than, right? What is meant by the greater than? I want to filter out the persons whose salary is greater than 500. So here we can see the salaries. We are having 800. It is starting from 800. So I want to filter out the salary of a person who is having more than 2000. Okay. Okay. Here we have 800 to like the highest salary is 3000. My requirement is I want to filter out the salaries who are having salaries more than 2000. So in that condition, what test filter you can use? See here, we go for this what number filter we use. In the number filters, you can use the function in this called as greater than. Okay. Salary greater than, if I want to filter out like salary greater than, suppose if you enter, I want to filter out the data who is having the salary greater than 1100. Okay. Suppose salary greater than 1500 if you select and click on OK. See, the person who are having the salary greater than 1500, only those names will be reflected here. So 1516, 2016, 2000, these are more than 1500, right? So this is how you can filter the data. And the next function also in this, if you want to filter the data, like if you want to filter the number filter, greater than or equal to. What is the meaning of greater than and greater than or equal to? if if you use greater than 1500 or 1500, so above 1500 it will be filtered. Greater than or equal to means if you mention any value, that value also reflected, and the value greater than that also reflected. So greater than or equal to, if you select here, I want to select have the salary greater than or equal to suppose 1600. So in the result 1600 will come, and greater than that 1600 will also reflected here. So salary greater than 1600 means 1600 plus greater than 16. If you use simply greater than, this 1600 will be not reflected, and the salary greater than 1600, it will start from 2995 to 3000. Okay, this is how it can filter the data. Now we have applied the clear filters. In the number filters, less than. Similarly, we can, if the salary less than or equal to 4000, less than or equal to. So this is we can see if the salary have less than 2000. This is very simple. What are the persons were having the salary less than 2400? If you want to filter the data, so these are the persons who are having the salary less than 2450. Okay, less than or equal to less than. If you understand less than and greater than, it is very easy. But sometimes if you want to filter the data between these two, like any two, I want to filter the salaries which are in between 200, like 800 to 2000, 800 to 2000. If you want to select the range, if you want to filter the data in a range, like I want to filter the data from 800 to 2000, that is the requirement. So just you click on the number filter. In that condition, you can use a option called as between. You can option called as between. When you option called as a between, in here I want to select the data for 800. I want to filter out the salaries from 800. Okay, and I want to filter the data from 800 to like I will select 202450. When you click on OK, so from 800 to 1300, 2450, you can see here, like all the salaries, the last 2450 will be the last number. So the salaries ranging from 800 to 2450, those salaries are only represented here. So in order to filter out the range, we use between function. So this is the general number functions, because in the real time we will be using this number functions, and these are very straightforward. but the interval will not just what are the different options which are there in the number filters, in how many different ways you will filter the data by using the number filter. He will ask that question. So we can filter equals, does not equal to, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, between. So these are the 5 different ways where you can filter the data by using number filters. And if you want to use the range of the filters, number filter, then you use called as between function. Exact that particular value, we use equal function. If you want to filter the data other than the specified value, we use does not equal to. And greater than and less than or equal to, these are the forward options. Okay. So this is the number filters that we are discussing. Number filter and date filter, these are quite easy, but only the date filter we have some advanced filtering options which are there in the Power Query level. Okay. Now, let us go through next department over. This is right. Okay, give me 1 second. Yeah, number filters. Let us go to the number filters over here in the orders table. Better we can take the orders table. It's a better to filter the data. It will have some important functions like, yeah. Now here I want to go to the state table. So we have the number of rows, right? Number of the columns we are there. I want to go to the particular column. So how you can go here? Then you can go in the choose column. We can click on go to column and mention the column name state. So that will be reflected. You can type here and okay. So you can go to the Texas, right? Now here, did we apply the filters over here? Now my data is showing the filters. Previously we have applied I need to remove that filters. Okay, let's go for go to column. Let us go to the states, right? Yeah. Okay, I have removed the filters because previously I have applied the filters on the Texas. Only Texas was reflecting. So I have removed the filters over here. Okay. Now, see, in the text filters we have seen as the text is stored, you can use the text filters if you want to filter the Texas over here in the text filters equal to that what we have discussed. You are giving the Texas name. Okay. So when you click on OK, so the filters which are related to the Texas, it has appeared. Now the next function will be using does not equal to. In the same way, if you want to filter out the data which is not equal to, I don't want the filter uh, other than the Texas. I want to filter out the data states which is other than the Texas. So what the filters will be used? Same. We go to the text filter. Instead of text equals to, we can select the does not equals to. So when you select does not equals to over here, when we select here Texas, click on OK. So except the Texas and all the states will be filtered over here. That is useful for does not equals to. Okay. So when you see here in this state, we don't have the Texas over here. Just we have other functions like if you want to check also you can check the text function like Texas will be not filter. If you want to or does not equal to any does not if you don't want to include any state, we go for does not equal to. Okay. In the same way, when you go for this text filters, there is another filter, we call it as begins with. What is my requirement is, I want to filter out the states. There are some 26 states over here. I want to filter out the states which are starting with the letter A. What are the states like Alabama, Arizona, Arkansas? These are the states. I want to filter out this data which starts with the letter A. So in this, we go for text filter. We can click on begins with. Just you type the letters A, only capital letter A. Then you click on OK. See, there are the three states called as Arizona, Alabama, and this Arkansas. These are the three states which are starting with letter A, and only these three states will be filtered. So what in that condition we'll use begins with. Okay, equals, we have seen equals, equals to, does not equals to, begins with. So my requirement is does not begins to, it's quite opposite. If you use does not begins to, click and you click on alphabet letter A, apart from this Alabama, Arizona, Arkansas, remaining states will be filtered. Okay. Let us see that example. In the text filter, we apply does not begins with. So filter the state that does not begins with letter capital letter A. So in this condition, Arizona, Alabama, Arakansas, these three states will not be filtered, and remaining all the states will be filtered. Just I click on OK. See, when you see over here and when you check for the states, see starting three states are not included here because we have applied the filter does which does not starts with A, or which that means A, like Alabama, those three states are filtered. Okay, this is how you can filter the data by using the text filters. Like does not begins with, when you click does not begins with A, only the three states will be excluded, and remaining all states will be appeared in here. Now there is another state. In this state also we can apply another text filters. My requirement is I want to filter out the data where the states are ending with ANA. ANA. I want to filter out those data, or otherwise NIA. I want to filter out the data where the states are ending with the letters NIA. How I can filter this data? You apply the text filter. You can see ends with. Okay. You give the name NIA. These are the case sensitives. Click on OK. See, these are the different states, like California, we have NIA, like Pennsylvania, we have NIA, like California. These are the three, Pennsylvania, these are the, you can check the states which are in, like California, Pennsylvania, Virginia. These are the states which are ending with the letter NIA. Only those states are filtered. Okay, this is how you can filter the data. Now, in the state functions also, you can see like we can remove the filters over here, right? Just you can clear the filters from here as well, right? In the text filter, now my requirement is there is another filters called as here does not contains. That means the letters which will contains, like if you are any word we can use, like in the contains and does not contains, you can specify any word, like Indiana, Georgia, you use the letters which contain GEOR. So those states will be filtered over here. Okay, that is a state forward. In the same way you can filter. Now this is a very good example, like what is if I want to filter the two states. Okay, I want to filter the data of New York and I want to filter the data of Texas. So how I can filter the data by two states? Okay, you go for the text filters over here. In this text filter, suppose if I select in this equals to, okay, it will show, it is showing the equals to. If I select the text filter equal to, suppose New York, these are the case sensitive, case sensitive. So you need to select exactly this is New York. Now I'm using and. Here I am using and. Again, you need to use equals. This is a general mistake you make. If I want to filter the state New York and Texas here, you will get an error. Previously, I got an error. New York and Texas, I want to filter. This is a general mistake. You will select and you click on OK. You will get an error. But again, if you clear the filters, apply again the text filters over here, equal to. Here I am selecting the New York, select or, again equals to. Now you select Texas. You click on OK. Now you are able to filter. You will get the data of New York and Texas. You can check the filters from over here. New York it is filtered, Texas it is filtered. So what is the difference? Can anyone say if you filter by and you got the results, like you got an error that no dates are filtered, that means no state contains, we got the empty results. But when we select or, you got the results of Texas and New York. Because when we select and, it should satisfy the two conditions. And when if two conditions are satisfied only, you will get the results. If you select here Texas, the name equal to Texas and the name equal to New York. That means it should satisfy, but as a practical scenario, no state will have two names, right? That's why it will not give the filters. It will give the values as empty filters. So and should not be selected. But when you use or, what is use of or? Out of the given two conditions, if any one condition satisfies, you will get the output. Okay. See, in this filter, when you look at this filter in the text filter, suppose if I'm clear applying the filter over here, this is the text filter I'm applying. Okay, this equals to, we are selecting Alabama, and again equals to, you are selecting Arizona. If you select and, no two states will have same a state name, it should satisfy the two conditions. That means a state name should be Alabama and the state name should be Arizona. But in the reality, we don't have a state with the dual names, right? So that's why when you click on OK, you got the empty records. That what I want to say. When you apply, when they remove the filters, in the same way we are applying the text filters over here. Now I am selecting equals. You select Alabama, you select or, let us select or, and you give again equals to, suppose I'm selecting California. When you select or, you will get the results, because or if any one of the conditions satisfies, you will get the results. It will see state is equal to Arizona or Alabama. One condition is satisfied, it will give Alabama results. And or will go for equals to California. So once it is qualified, like this set of conditions is qualified, so it will go and give Alabama and California result. That it is evident from here, like Alabama and California here. So don't filter. This will be, what is the difference between the or and what is the difference between the and, when you use that if two conditions will satisfy, that good. But in the between, while using the between, I have not used or. So in the employees table that you can see here, when I go to the employee table over here, when I for salaries, okay, in the number filter, okay, I selected between or greater than or equal to, in the between salaries, or where I can go to the department. Yeah, here number filters you can apply equals. Yeah, that is a between function. Between function means we use one and second. For the range of functions we can select, but only in case of and or you can or, the difference you can find here, and or. And means it will satisfy two condition, or means if any one condition satisfied to give the results. So that is simple as such. Now my requirement is, let us go to the orders table also, because when you comes to the number filters, that I will explain what I want to say. If what happens if anyone say like, if you want to filter the data over here, I want to remove the filters which is over here. Okay, I want to filter the data. What happens? I want to filter the data of three states: New York, Texas, and Washington. That is my requirement. I want to filter the data of three states. How I can filter the data? Same by using the text function. In the text function also, I will click on equals to. I want to filter the first New York. So I select New York. Here we need to select and, no, we need to select or because two. Now again, you select again equals to. Now test you need to mention as Texas. So I want to filter out the Texas. Right. So when we use the basic filter, that is the difference. When you use the basic filter, you are applying, we are going to filter out only two, New York and Texas, and we are not able to filter out more than two regions. So when you work on less, that is the definition that when you work on less distinctive values, you go for basic filter. Either you can filter only New York and Texas, but you are not able to filter more than two regions. So if you want to filter out three regions, better you go for this advanced. Okay. So advanced filters, when you go for the advanced filters, say they will get an option called as add class. With the help of this add class, we can apply multiple filters. So that is the difference. If you want to filter more number of items, you go for advanced filter. If you want to filter only one or two, you can go for the basics. No, my requirement is I want Texas, New York, and Washington. Just you click on the add class. Now you can click on equals to. Now I click on the suppose Washington, or I can filter on South Carolina. If I click on OK, still I will get the wrong results. See, I click on OK, but only two. When you see here, when apply the filter, see, I have clicked on it and I look in the filter, I will get the wrong results. Why? Only New York is filtered. I have selected the three regions. But why I have get only New York result? This is the wrong result, right? Now I will go back to the text filter. When you go back to the text filter over here, what we have selected in the text filter, the reason being we have not selected and over here. Here we have selected and function, and second or function we have selected and function, that's we have not got the results. Only the New York is filtered. See, in the text function, I click on equals to, go to the advanced filter. If I want to select the New York here, Alabama, instead of and, I need to select or over here. Now you select equals to, you can give Arizona, add clause. Here also you need to select R. Okay, because a state will have only single name, right? If you use and, only the first filter Alabama will be filtered. That is the wrong way of representation. You click or. Now you click on equals to, you give the New York or North Carolina. See, now your filter is correct. If it look for go and search for Alabama, it will give the result, or it will go and search for Arizona, it will give the result, or the state is equal to New York, it will give the result. Now if you filter on OK, see, now in the filters you can see Alabama is filtered, Arizona is filtered, New York is filtered. That means the requirement is, if you want to see, instead of going this, what if you want to go to that your class, you can directly click on this filter condition. You can see the query over here. Okay, but instead of this, if I select the and, that New York will not be filtered. You can see here in the result, you will get only Alabama. Only what happened, it only satisfied this condition. If you want to check the result, state is equal to Alabama, this is only situation, only this condition is satisfied. That's why if you select and or, you need to see apply the filters every time or. Okay, and when it satisfy two conditions only, it will give the output. But if you select the OR function and you select on OK, it will filter all the regions which is related to Alabama, Arizona, and also New York. So this is the way that how we can filter the data, uh, which we can use the multiple filters. Now there is another function called as in the same advanced functions, equals to, does not equals to, begins with, does not begins with, contains, does not contains. So let us see in the text function also we have seen, like let us remove this filter. So in the text function we have seen equal to, does not equals to, begins with, does not begins with, contains. Okay, what is the use of this contains? In this, if you want to see the contents name, let's just go to this table. Suppose maybe the customer name in the dim customer. In the dim customer, if the name customer name is there, let us go and see here. Go to columns. If you have the customer name, yeah, it is not there. Let's go for employee table. We have single name. Let us see if the name contains some duplicate name, it will be better. Orders table. Yeah. See, in the orders table with the Allen name, we have three: Armand, Rosenwald, Andrew Allen. These are the three-person we have. So in the text filter, we can use let us understand what is the use of this contain function. Okay. So I'm selecting this text filter, apply the text filter, contains. In the basic filter, it is showing filter out the name that contains. Here we have seen Allen. Okay, let us give one name called as Allen, or it may not be in the capital letters, or it is in the capital letters, means we need, it is a case sensitive. Okay, Allen. Click on OK. See, these are the persons, like you have the Allen Rosenwald, Allen Almond. These are the names which contains the Allen. In every name you see the Allen, right? Allen here in the starting or at the end. So contain means in the specific name. If you want to filter that name, like we can filter out. See, every name we have Allen. Okay, when if you want to filter does not contains means you can directly come to here, filter out that does not contains. Okay, does not contain Allen. That means apart from these names mentioned over here, and remaining all names will be filtered. When you see in every name, this name does not contain the word Allen. So that is one of the function we use. Contain, does not contains, because they will ask the difference between equal to, does not equal to, contains and does not contains. So in that way that you can show the difference. Okay, that is a simple way of the filtering. Now let us go to the some important topic: filtering of text filter, filtering of number filter. Is very straightforward, because some of the person you are having a knowledge on Excel background, they can filter the data. That is not a big thing, because options are very straightforward. But filtering the data at the date filters will sound somewhat interesting, because the date filters are mostly will be used in the real time, because date means it will depending upon the years, right? So the client will be more interested to filter the data which has happened in the last years of the data, like last few years. That's why the filter, the number, the understanding of the date filters will carry the more weightage. Right. Now let us come to the date filters. Here, let us go to the orders date. We are in the orders table, right? In the orders table, how I can go to the orders date? You can go to the choose columns. In the go to column, just you click on the order date. Okay. So you will be going to the orders date over here. So we have extracted the month. So there are some transformation. Yesterday I have done it. So I will try to remove this, remove this, because yesterday we have uh, applied some transformations. Yes, I am removing the transformations. Yeah, it's fine. We are here in the order day. Okay. No, here, if you want to filter out the data of particular any specific data of any particular year, like I want to filter out the data 16th August 2016, if it is there or not, 16th August 2016, a specific date I want to filter out. So how I can filter the data? So we can filter order date, applying the date filters. To filter the specific date, we use equals. I want only that particular date. Then you go for equals. See date, I'm clicking on equals, right? I'm entering the date I want to enter here. So I want to filter the data. Suppose this is the first date, 8/11/2016. 8/11/2016. I want to enter. That means it is November 8, 2016. Just you select here, or you can select it from the calendar, or you can select it from anything. So I want to filter out the data of 2016. Uh, you can select it from the calendar. So 2016, if you here go for this double arrow, what I said, like you go for the years will be changing. Okay, September, October, November. If you select this, you will go 1 year forward. So the first one, November 8th, 2016. We are in the November 2016. If you want to select this 8, that 8/11/2016, I want to filter out. Just okay. So we have the two dates. So to filter out specific date, you can see here what are the filters that we have applied. See, for equals, in order to filter the specific date, you want to see the suppose in the real times, like suppose Flipkart, they kept an offer on particular day. Okay, suppose as an Independence Day, or due to some festive occasion day, like for any Republic Day, they have kept some offers, and the client is interested to what is the business and what are the sales on that particular date. So you go for the, you can click on the equals and give the enter and click on the date and click on OK, and it will go back to their sales section. So how much the sales it has generated. So you go to the sales and see what is the day of the sales, how many products are sold. So in that conditions, to look at the specific date, you use the equal function. Okay, now the basic function, if you want to load the data except this particular date, that what we'll be using, so you can does not, there will be no filter. So November 8th, 2016, so I am clearing the filter over here. November 8th, I want to filter out the data except November 8th, 2016. I don't want these two. But when you see here in the date filter, does not equal to is not there, equals is there, does not equals to is not there. But you will be getting some type of confusion how we can filter out the data. But there is nothing to worry. There is one function here, we call it as custom filter. You can go to the custom filter over here. Once you open the custom filters, we will be having equals and we will be having does not equals to. Now you give that date 8/11/2016. Okay, you select over here, you go for 2016 November 8th, click on OK. See, the last 2 days are removed. Except November 8, 2016, all dates are visible over here. Okay, if you want to eliminate specific dates. In the real time, this type of does not equals to, suppose if you are working on week data, if a client is want to work on any business, you want to see how the performance of the team in a week. In that condition, he will exclude the weekends, like Saturday and Sunday will be holiday. He will exclude that week and he will see the remaining days. So what is the productivity of hours? Okay, what is the productivity of hours of a person? If you do it for a week for 7 days, it is not correct, right? So in the 7 days, we will work only for Monday to Friday. So if you want to specific for to see the performance, he will exclude some days. So in that condition, he can use a function called as does not equal to, which will be not there directly, but while filtering the date filter, we have a function called as custom filter. By using the custom filter, you can use the data. Okay, that's you can clear the filters. Now My requirement, I will ask a simple question for you. I want to load 2016 data only, means I have selected you can use between 2016, means you will give the start date of 2016, January 1st 2016, and you will give the end date of 2016, December 31st 2016, and you will filter the data. But now my requirement is I want to load the data of 2016 and 2017, 2 years data, only 2 years data, 2016 and 2017. Okay. So what is the function that you will use? What is the function that you will use in this case if you want to filter out the data of, that is how to load the data after load only. Here this data contains 2014, 15, 16, 17, 4 years data. Here the latest data is 2017. We have in this orders table as 2014, 15, 16, 17. You can see here your data will comes from 2014. Just for a confirmation, 2017. How many years data we have? 14, 15, 16, 17, 16, 17. That means 5 years data we have. My requirement is I want to load 2016 and 2017. That means I want to load last 2 years data, 2016 and 17. Okay, that is my requirement. So in that condition, I can use a function called as after. There is one option called as after. See, in the order state, I will apply the date filter. In the date filter, you can use after. After, like you want to filter out what is the last 2 years we have, 2016 and 17, right? So after means January 1st 2016 is the first date, right? What is the before date for that? December 31st, December 31st 2015, right? So I want the dates after. Okay, 31st 12 2015. You can here, you can select here, go for 2015, month December 31st. So what is the all the dates after December 31st 2015 it filter out. So what is the dates we have to 2015? It starts from January 2016. January 2016 to whatever the years that you want. Here 2016 and 2017 is only last 2 years data. Once you click on OK over here, your data is filtered, right? 2016 and 2017 data will be only there here. See 2016 and 2017. So you can give the last date of above one. If you want to filter the 2016 and 17 data, you select after and the last date of that previous year. December 31st, 2015 year, the last date, right? So after that date, whatever the years are there, that years will be filtered. Okay. Here only we have 2016 and 17 data. That's why we are able to get the 2016 and 17 years data. Okay, that is the way where we use after function. You will get the data from 2016 and 2017 now, because in the filters you have applied, I want the dates after December 31st, 2015. Okay, all the dates after this date will be reflected, will be filtered here. This is how you can filter the data in the real time. Your client, see, I already said your data is having so much of data from 2014 to 2017, but your client is interested to see only last 2 years data. So try to apply the filter over here. Only that data will be filtered in the Power Query, and you can build the visuals and you can show it to the client. So that is the importance of the filters where we apply in the Power Query. Next one, we can apply the filters. Uh, there is another way. There is one function is after equal to uh, how to load the data. How to load the data. My requirement is how to load the data except 2016. This we have completed. Hmm. And my requirement is how to load the data before 2000 31st December 2015. That is my requirement. Okay, 31st December 2015, I want to load the data before 31st December 2015. So what is my requirement? 31st December 2015, before years I want. So how you can do it? So in that condition, we can apply the filter called as, let us remove this filter. Okay. I am applying, this is a date filter. In the date filter, I am also applying, I am using the function called as before. Okay. Before. Right. So what is my requirement is, I will type here. So that you can see. I want to load the data. How to load data before 31st December 2015. This is my requirement. In order to understand this requirement, you can use a function called as before. Okay. I will come again this text function, date filters. In the date filters, we'll select the before. Okay. Now is before. Now you can give the date before, like means January 1st, 2016, you can give it. 2017, 2016, I go for January 1st, 2016. Now I click on OK. So this will filter the data before January 2016. So before January 2016, what are the years we have? 2016 we will have 2015 data we will be having. Okay, you will be getting the filter before 2015 and this data 2014, because that in this table contains what years we are already said, 2014, 15, 16, 17, right? If I selecting is before 2016 January 1st, you will be getting 2015 data and you will be getting the 2014 data. Just you click on OK. See what are the years it is filtered, 2014, and you can come down 2015. So whatever, this is the required 31st 12 2015, whatever the dates which are there before 31st 2015, these are filtered. So that is the requirement right here, how to load the data before 31st December 2015. So you need to give in the filtered rows, you can select over here. So January 1st 2016, what are the days which are there before this date? That means these are the dates how to load 31st December 2015. All the dates will be visible here. Already you know the data contained 2014 to 2017. We have given 2016 before data, that it is filtering 2015 data and it is filtering 2014 data. So this is how you can apply the filters by using the date filters. Okay, that is very simple. Now, how to load the data before 31st December, we have difference, and how to load the data of only 2016 specific data, only of that specific data. I have explained already while explaining the date function. Suppose how to load 2016 data only. I want your client want to interested to see only 2016 here. So you can apply for the date filter. In the date filter, you can go for between, right? In this between, so you give the start date and end date. So the start date of 2015 16 here is, you can come to 2016, 2016, go to January 1st 2016 and give the end date. End date is December 31st 2016, right? 2016, you need to go for December, September, October, November, December, 31st. So January 1st to 31st December. So you have used the between function. When between function, it will display is after, is before. By default, these are the options will pop. Okay. Now you filter you can see the data. The data is filtered over here only under particular year 2016. So if you want to extract the specific year, the function we use called as between. Okay. That is one of the way that how you can filter the data. Now there is another functions, we call it as is in the next and is in the previous. So how to load the last 3 years data? Sometimes what happens, I will filter this. Yeah. Here you need to work on some things like uh, January 1st, 2000, January 2014, 2015, because I want to change the system date. Okay. In the real time, what happens when you select the years like date filters equals we have done before, after, between. So there is other function called as is earliest, is latest, is not latest, is not latest. So these are the function that we will be seeing. So in order to apply on this is in the latest, suppose if I select is in the latest function and if I select the dates, but suppose is in the previous I will select, but I will not get the result. Suppose in the date function I have selected for is in the previous. That is the this is a requirement. If your client you have so much of data, your client is interested to see. Suppose today is the weekend. I have kept an offer in the business in the last 2 days. I have kept a lot of offers like 50% discount on my products. So they have customers ordered many products in the last 2 days by looking at that offer. My requirement is I want to see what is my sales in the last 2 days because I have given a lot of offers to them in the online. In that condition, you select is in the previous. So I want to see the previous 2 days sales. I will select two. But when I click on OK, the last 2 days will not be filtered. You can see here. This table is empty. What is the reason behind it? Is in the previous means it will select the last 2 days date from current date to last 2 date. What is your date today? 20 April 2024. What is the last 2 days sales? 19th April and 18th April. But in the order state, whether you have 2024 data, you don't have 2024 data, right? What is the final data we have? Here we have from ranging from 2014 and the last data. What are the dates we have? 2014 and 2017 is the 13 2017 is the last date. If I select is in the previous two, it will try to fetch 18th, 19th April 2022 data, 2024 data, 18th April 2024 data. So because here my date is somewhat changed 20 April, it will go and check for this last 2 days. The system date is somewhat wrong for me. It will go and it will check the system on this last 2 days. If suppose I'm currently my date in year in January 1st 2024, it will check for December 31st 2023, December 30 2023 here. So in order to achieve this result, I want to change my system date. Then I will work on the data. Then you will get the results. Previously, what I have said, like a date filter. Okay, I applied in the date filter. I went to use in the previous. I want to see the previous 2 days sales. I click on, let us click on OK. But there is no latest date available. So that's why we are getting the empty values. Now, in order to achieve these results, I will do some modification in my system. I will change the settings in my system so that you can able to change the date. Okay, let us see here. Let us do in the date. Go for settings, time and language. Let us go to data and time. In this set time automatically, it is on. I will click on off. I will change set the date and time manually. I will change the date. Okay. Just you go to the settings, date settings. In the date setting, Previously, it was date set is automatically on. That means today is 15/9/2024, right? This is the today's date. So automatically the dates will be automatically set 15/9/2000. But I need to change this date manually. So manually, I am selecting, I am changing my date to suppose I give around 2017 data 17 I will go. So I will select 21st. Better I will select June and I will change it to 2017. Now you select on change. So I'm doing time is 8:23, it's not a problem. Click on change. Once you click on change, see this indicates 21/6/2017. What does it signifies? Currently think that we are in June 21st, 2017. Okay, because I changed the system date. In the real time, you will not change because I don't have the latest data. I have only 2017 data. If I click on ease in the previous, in 2017 it will check for that previous date, previous 2 days data, but you don't have the latest data. So but in order to get the values, I am going and changing my system date. Okay, think that we are in June 21st 2017. Now we will go and apply the transformation. Now you can see you will get the data here. Previously is in the previous 2 days you got the empty values, right? Now let us try to in the orders date we have the filters over here. I am clearing the filters, then you will get the data. Now let us go to the orders date filter is in the previous, and I want to give the 2 days in the previous 2 days and click on OK. So I will get the data over here. Is in the previous 2 days means presently where I am in 21st. So is in the previous means I need to get 20, 19. That are the previous date, right? See, I got 19/6 2017 data, 26 2017 data. What are the sales that have happened in the last 2 days? I got the data. Okay. Just think that we are in 21st/6/2017 because I have manually changed the date, and then only I can able to explain is in the previous, is in the latest. So in order to make you understand, I have changed my system date and I am explaining your things so that you can better understand. Okay, is in the previous. So if I want to see the dates like is in the previous, like suppose you can apply the filter over here like unity change. I want to see last 4 days days data is in the previous 4 days data. Presently we are in 21st, right? You will get 20 data, 19 data, 18th data, 17th June data. Just you see here is in the pre. See 17th. You can look from here. 17th, 18th, 19th, 20. From here, from 21st/6/2016, last 4 days data. If you want, you can go for here. So that is called as is in the previous. So in this way, you need to understand how to filter the data. Okay. Now let us remove the filters from here. Clear filter. Done. Now in the same, in the date filter, we have is in the next. Is in the next. Okay. So presently we have the data up to here is in the next. Currently we have 21st/6 2017. Okay. Date filter. We have. You are clicking is in the next. Okay. So I am selecting next 3 days. Okay. So I got the data of next 3 days. That means currently where we are June 21st, right? Next 3 days 22, 23, 24. So you can filter this 22, 24. 23 we don't have the data because on 23 there are no sales capture. That's why we are not getting that date. Don't think this is wrong because it is not mandatory, right? And on maybe on 23rd some of the customers have not ordered the product. Okay, so is in the next means it will filter the next day's data from the current date. Okay, in the same, if I want to select okay cancel, You select the filters over here. Next 5 days is in the next 5 days. If you want to filter the data, currently we are in 21st, right? 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th, 27th. These 5 years data it will fetch. See, you can see the data. And if we want to apply the filter, see 22nd, 24th, 25th, 26th. And for the 23rd and 27th, we don't have the data. That's why that data is not appearing here. Okay. If any sales was captured on that date, it would have reflected that date as well. So this is called as ease in the nest. By using the Power Query, you can capture the data. What are the sales that are happened in the previous? And if you have any forecasting figures of your sales, that also you can capture by using the Power Query in the by using the option, the filter based options in the Power Query. Okay, this is how you can filter the data. And there is a, you can filter not only days. If you want to filter what is the my month sales is in the previous week sales, you can go for the previous month sales as well. So suppose if I select the orders date over in the date filters, if I selected is in the previous, right, is in the previous one, not only days, if you select the week, okay, here is in the previous years, you can select is in the years, month, week. Also, if you select instead of days, have selected the week is in the previous week. Okay. So from here, it will go for 7 days back and it will give the results. So it will give from 21st, right? It will go like from what is the sales which are happened in the last week sales. It will be reflecting over here. Okay. So it is current week. Every week starts from Sunday. It will ends from Saturday. So if you select the week, if the 21st 6 2017, what are the sales that have happened in the last week? It will represent over here. And if you better, if you want to see what is my sales which are happened, so if I selected not only last week, currently which are we are in which year 2017. Here in the filtered rows, like here I will remove in the filtered rows. Here is in the previous. Suppose I select is in the previous month. I'll select on OK. So currently we are in which month? June. June. So it has filtered out a May month data. So month starts from where this month starts from 1st to 30 or 31st, right? We have selected the previous month means only May month sales will be reflecting January, February, March, April, May. So that is the way how. Now currently we are in which year? 2017. If I select is in the previous year, what is in the previous 1 year? If you select OK, your data is only 2016 data. It will be reflected over here. We can apply C and the filters. 2016 data will be filtered. So this is how you can filter the data is in the previous. Like you can select is in the previous. So not only there are some business which are very sensitive business. Sometimes you can see in the online shopping in the last hour from 8 7 to 8 up 8 8 a.m. 8 2 p.m. if you order that product, you will avail the discounts about of 40 to 50%. They will keep system of offers. So you can see is in the last hours as well. So when you click on OK, in the last hours what my sales are happened, that will be reflected over here. And if you are in the business like stock market or a very sensitive business, if you want to see my business, how much sales are happened in the last minute, you can select on OK. So what are the my within here? Like suppose 8:31, what is the sales that happened in 8:30? That is also we are able to filter the data depending upon the sensitivity of your business. Like it may be business which is related to some betting, or it may be to online stock marketing. It is related to based upon some offers. So if you want to see last minute data, and if you want to see the last second, if you are in 31st 31 seconds, like if you want to see the last second also data, that we can able to filter the data by using the Power Query. So that is this type of menu based options you cannot see in case of in the Excel, where you can apply last month or last hour, last second, last minute, and depending upon the project that you are, the Power Query we can able to filter our data. Okay. Next I'm trying to remove this filter, clear filter. So hope date filters is in the previous that we have discussed. Between is in the next we have discussed. Next means next 3 days, next week, next. It is very. Now there is another function we can see is called as is earliest. Okay, what is meant by is earliest? Is not earliest. Then if you select the is earliest, suppose what is the start date on, there are many transactions happened here. If you select is in the earliest, it will select the earliest date which is there over here. Suppose, let us take an example. I'm selecting, I'm in the order date. Okay, this is the order date. In the date filter, I'm selecting is earliest. So 3/1/2014. This is the first, the oldest date will be filtered. When you say earliest means the oldest date will be filtered when you select is earliest. When you select is not earliest, that means what is the latest data, latest date available in that column, it will be filtered. Okay. This was some of the interview questions they will ask. Have you used the function called as is earliest, is not earliest? They'll be asking. Sometimes is earliest means some people confuse. Earliest means earlier, that means latest date, they will answer the question. Earliest means in that table, what is the earliest? That means old date, that it will capture that old date. Okay, we have is earliest. Okay, is not earliest. When you click on is not earliest, when you click on OK, except that earliest date, except not earliest. The previously we have earliest date. What is 2014, right? So if you observe this, see, we have selected is earliest, right? This is the is earliest. We selected OK. Only this date is filtered. That is the oldest date. If you select is not earliest, except this 3/1/2014, all the dates will be filtered. So that is the difference I want to say to you. Is not earliest means the oldest data will be filtered out. It will not appear. Apart from that, all the dates will be appearing. So this is the thing that what I am to say. Let us see the example over here. Instead of going, you can go to the filtered rows. We can select is earliest, is not earliest. See this 3/1/2000, except this date, all days will be filtered. Is not latest, I have selected, that is not the correct. Is not earliest. We select OK, this date will not appear. Okay, 3/1/2014. When you see selected 2000 data, see 3/1/2014 is went away because we have not is not earliest, no. So the data is coming from 4/1/2014. So that is the difference between is earliest, is not earliest. Now my question is, what is the last date? I want to filter out the latest date in this table. So that is my requirement. So how I can achieve this result? So I will go for this filtered rows only here, and I will change, instead of going every time, I will change here is latest. What happens if I select is latest? The latest date which is there in this particular column, it will be filtered. Okay. See 30/12/2017. This date has the records, the sales recorded for this date. The last latest date is 30/12/2016. If I select is not latest, except this 30/12/2017, remaining all days will be will be filtered. See, we select is not latest. See, all days will be filtered. When you look at the 2017, that date, see, 28/12/2017, 30/12/2015 is not there. The 29, we don't have any data, that's why it is not reflecting over here. That is the thing. So 30/12/2017 is not appearing over here. So is latest, is not. Latest means latest data. Earliest date means the oldest data. That is the difference that you need to understand while working with these filters. Okay. Now let us see what are the other functions will be in the date filters also. Is not list. Extracting the year, month, date. If you want to extract the sales, See, next year sales. Currently, we are in the 2017. If I click on year in the next year, I will get the empty. Why empty? Because currently 2017 date we have, next year is 2018. But we don't have 2018 data in the order table. I already said in the orders table 2014 to 17 is only there. But you have given the next year means 2017 next year is 2018. In the 2018 the order data we don't have date. That's why we got the empty. So in that way you need to understand. Okay, that is very simple. So instead of next year, last year. Okay, what happens if you select the last year? Currently you are in which 2017? Current year is 2017. When you select on last year and click on OK, 2000 last year is presently 2017. Last year will be 2016. You can see the data which is there in the 2016. It is reflected here. Okay, this is how you need to understand. Now again, I will go to same filters. Instead of last year, I will say last year, this year. If I select this year means currently we are in which year? 2017. Only 2017 year data will be filtered. See, I'm selecting this year. Okay. See, only 2017 year. What is the data which is there in the 2017? It will be represented. See, 2017. First month at 2017. 30/12 2017. So only 2017 data is filtered. You go to the filter section also. In this year, it will sell year to date. What is meant by year to date? YTD. From that means what is the starting date of that year to the till date. Today what is 21st 2017, June 21st 2000. That means it will filter the data from starting of that year to present date. Any year will start from January 1st 2017 to June 21st 2017. That data it will filter. That is called as YTD or year to date. Is in the, if you select year to date, if you select on OK, see, it's January 1st 2017 to today. Today means like the last date. Today 21 6 2016, 21 6 2017. So that data it is filtered. So this type of greatest feasibility that you can only see in the Power Query at the minute level also, you can transform your data. Okay. Now let us close this. Clear filter. You can go to the date filter. We had discussed equal, before, after, is in the previous, is latest, is not latest, year. Now in the same way you can apply year, quarter. So you can apply what is the this quarter sales, last quarter sales. Quarter means what? January, February. We have 4 quarters: January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. If you want to filter this quarter means, see, this is the examples I need to give this because some people have new, they might be not knowing, because already those who have experience they can know about. There will be 4 quarters actually. Q1 means it will start from Jan to March. Next we have Q2, start from April, May, June. Quarter 3, July, August, September. Quarter 4, October, November, December. Right, now you say in which quarter we are now. In which quarter we are now? We are in the, suppose we have, which month we have. Suppose according to this, according to the system date, 21st 2017, I assume you are in 21st June 2017. That means April to June. We are in the quarter 2. That signifies the quarter 2. Now in the order date, I apply for the date, you go to the quarter. If you apply for next quarter, if you select for the next quarter, so what are the filters it will use? Presently we are in 6th, this is 7th. You can see here 7, 8, 9. You can see here. If it is easy to understand, 1 to 3rd month, just to represent easy, nothing that 4 to 6, 7 to 9, 10 to 12, right? Quarter one, 1 to 3, 4 to 6, 7 to 9. So I have selected what is the select next quarter. Next quarter selected means we are in the June, right? Here June. The June comes under which quarter? We are in the second quarter. Okay. I am selecting the next quarter means after June will come under the quarter 3, right? Quarter 3 starts from 7 to 9. That's why you look at this your data 7th month, 8th month, and 9th month. This next quarter data is filtered. So just you need to select, you need to look at that way. Every year has 4 quarters. First quarter Jan to March, second April to June, third July to September, and the last quarter is October to December. Based upon this scenario, it will filter the data. Okay. Now you can see uh, in the filtered rows only, let us select the filter rows. If you select the last quarter, presently we are in which quarter? June means second quarter. Last quarter will means it will the quarter one. The last quarter one starts from January, February, March. So January, February, March, these 3 months data will be filtered. So this is the thing that I want to clear. Okay. See, let us see the filter. January, February, 3rd, March. These 3 months data it is filtered. Because you why I'm saying this, because if the client want to review what is my compare my performance to this year, last year quarter, you want to see the quarter one performance to quarter four, you want to see the last 3 years quarter what is this performance. If you want to work on this particular data, you need to come to your Power Query and you need to know how to filter the data at the quarter level and what is the 4 different type of quarters. Then only you can make good insights and you can work on the data. Okay, that is a simple thing that you can note here. You can click on the next quarter, right? What is meant by next quarter means presently you are in the second quarter. Next quarter means third quarter. The third quarter will be starts from where? 7 to 9, right? Third quarter. So those data will be reflected over here. The next quarter. That's over where this. When you select on the quarter one, if you select the quarter one and click on OK, January, February, March. Only first quarter data. January, February, March. Only first 3 months data will be filtered over here. We need to select it again. Date filter. Quarter one. See, January, February, March. So these years of the data, for all the years, we'll be selecting only, see, 1, 2, 3. For all the years, only first 3 quarters of the data will be reflected because we have selected the quarter function over here, the quarter one. In the same way, if you want to select over here, instead of quarter one, if I select the quarter two, for all the years, you will select quarter two, 6, 7, 8, 9, the quarter two. What are the quarters for this particular second one? January, February, March, April, May, June. So those only data will be filtered over here. 4, 5, 6. So this is how you can filter the data. Based upon your requirement, you will try to filter the data uh, based upon the requirement of your project. In the date filters, you have seen like how to go to this quarter. If you want to week the data, if you want to select the day, particular day, see in the week also we can see what is the next week data. You are currently in 2016. If you select the next week, your next week data, only next week data will be appeared. This will be seen only in case of forecasting. In case of date, week, if you want to find only last week data, you select last week. This week means present week data you will get. Last week means last week data will be. Day, tomorrow means yesterday. That means next day. If your forecast data is there, if you are 21st, if you have 22nd data, you will be getting over here. So if you select, I am selecting tomorrow. Currently today is 21/6. If I select tomorrow, see, 21/6 is today. Tomorrow data is filtered. 21st/6, 2017. This is how you can filter the data. In the date filters also again, if you select here in the tomorrow, instead of tomorrow, if you select yesterday, your 21st and 20th data will be filtered. See, 20th data is filtered. So this is very simple that based upon the requirement of your project, you can use the filter the data. So you need to know how to apply the filters, how to apply the different text and date filters. That is very important for you to understand different types of the filters in the Power BI. Now I am removing this filters row. Okay, we have the filters over here. I will clear the filter. Yeah, still we have filters applied. Right. Now in the date filters, till we have discussed about equals, weekday, minutes, second, custom second. Already this have discussed. Just you need to use the data and try to play with the how to see the last week data and how the results are coming. The day also you can say today date lot. You can see next hour what is the sales. This hour in the particular hour what is our sales from 8 to 8:15. So in the last minute sales also you can able to do in the last seconds data. So these are the different ways where you can filter out the data based upon your requirement. Okay. And this is the filter concept. So first, before starting class, we have started what are the different type of the filters. We have basic filter and advanced filter. Basic filter, if you want to work on only few attributes or few distinctive values, you go for basic filter. If you want to filter out more attributes or more distinctive values, you go for advanced filter. Okay, that is one of the thing. What is the difference between or and when we use or? If two conditions satisfies, we go for and we use and function. If you want to get the results, if any only one condition will satisfy, if you want to get the results, you use or function. And three different functions: text function, date functions, and number functions. So how the number functions and test functions are quite straightforward, but I request everyone to spend some time on on date functions. That means date filter. Okay. So with this, we have completed the filter concepts, which is very important topic. Okay. I request everyone to load this orders table and load the Power BI desktop and try to practice what are the things that have explained in the class. Then only it will be easy for you to understand that things very clear. Okay. Right. We are stopping the class here because I cannot stop. We can start the column transformation, the row transformation in the next class because that is a quite a new topic. If I start now, again I have to repeat it tomorrow. Okay. Okay. Thanks for attending the session, and I will update you on the next class tomorrow. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Mm,